views and beliefs presented on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the management, the affiliates and broadcast partners, or the sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Scarefest Radio, the radio you can see.
And hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Scarefest Television. The original broadcast date, it is June 20th, 2025, in the lead up to Scarefest 17. And so what we have tonight, we have your seminar series, our speaker review. We've got our speaker lineup set for you, barring, of course, blah, 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 the old disclaimer, subject to change without notice. Yeah. Anyway, Bonehead Weekly is coming on tonight to do The Life of Chuck. And I just wanted to tell everybody that Adrian asked me to uproot the format that we've used since day one on this show and hold the celebrity announcements until the end of the program. And no, fuck that. No. We would spend the entire second half of the show telling people why we haven't announced anybody yet. So, that being said, we're going to go ahead. Now, this is a special treat for you all tonight because I'm back to my roots. I'm doing it solo. I am the only person here because I always bring in a co-host when I do these, and they just end up sitting there giggling at my jokes when I get to make them. But, yeah, we have 5 celebrity announcements tonight. 5. And so we're just going to get right into it. Are you ready with the graphics? All right, now I'm going to pull up my schedule here. We actually have these in order of appearance, so that'll be fun too. Kicking off the weekend on Friday at 5 p.m., Zack Bales. Zack Bales will be doing Moth Man, Winged Terror of Appalachia. Join Zack Bales, author of the Atlas of the Unexplained, Moth Man, and a curator of Paranormal Road Trips, Nightmare Gallery, in Somerset, Kentucky. The guy's written so many books, he can't even bring them all with him. As he details the history and mystery of Mothman, the demon-like creature with its bulbous, blood-red eyes that tormented a small Appalachian town in the 1960s. Did he really torment the town, though? He showed up a couple of times. Of course, then again, the argument could be made when I show up, I torment. Anyway, Bales will also recount his own experiences with bizarre Mothman-like phenomenon. Now, if you don't know Zack Bales, we've had him on the show. Very interesting guy, really nice. Zack Bales, he's a folklorist and schoolmaster from Somerset, Kentucky, and the author of 6 books. No, it's more than that. It's got to be more than that. Hell, I bought 2 of them. Oh, well. Ghost Monsters and the Little Green Men. He's also the owner of and operator of Paranormal Road Trippers, Nightmare Gallery, a museum dedicated to the study of the unusual, the unexplained, and the otherworldly. So that is our how we're going to kick off the weekend. Watch, I'll need that here in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll have to pick it up.
No, you won't. It's my office. Don't worry about it. Okay. Now, Friday at 6 o'clock. Now, incidentally, people, this year we're doing a little, before I even tell you about Allan's speech, we're doing something a little different this year in that we have 2 rooms. But rather than double up the schedule, what we're doing is we're actually offsetting the schedule so that you'll have more egress and regress. Is that right? More time to get in and out of the room. The speakers won't be rushed, in other words. They'll have the full hour if they want it, but you'll still be able to make all the presentations because we're not offsetting them where they start during each other. Okay, Allan Marston, The Science of Fear. Why serial killers terrify us. Why do serial killers captivate and terrify us? Join Allan as we explore the psychology and neuroscience of fear, revealing how serial killers tap into our deepest survival instincts, from the fear of the unknown to the uncanny valley of human predators. Discover why these real-life monsters haunt our imagination and why we can't look away. This promises to be a fun presentation like no other. Nothing like a fun presentation about serial killers. Nothing like it. Okay. Now, if y'all don't know Allan, Allan's a hell of a good guy. Allan Marston, he hails from a small town in southern Virginia, but his curiosity for the macabre has taken him far beyond its borders. A dedicated researcher and lecturer, he has spent most of his adult life exploring the eerie, the unexplained, and the terrifying. With over 16 years of experience as a paranormal investigator, Allan has delved into the darkest corners of the unknown. He has held numerous positions within the National Paranormal Society, even serving as its head, where he guided others in their pursuit of the supernatural. Today, he's a captain of Station 7, C Shift, at the Lynchburg Fire Department, facing real-world dangers with the same resolve he brings to the paranormal. A Virginia, I bet his wife, I bet she wrote this. There's no way Allan would brag on himself like this. A Virginia certified hazmat specialist, Allan is no stranger to high-stakes situations, whether in the physical world or the shadowy realm of the unexplained. His expertise, professionalism, and unnervingly calm demeanor in the face of the supernatural have earned him the title the Paranormal Gentleman. The Paranormal Gentleman. All right. Now, this one is one of our featured speakers, everybody. Patty Negri. You can look her up on Facebook. The woman's like big thing out west, out on the West Coast. But Patty Negri will be coming on coming to Scarefest to give Haunted Dolls 101. Haunted Dolls 101, which is kind of right on target this year. The care and feeding and proper acquisition of haunted dolls, based on her new book from Llewellyn Dollcraft, A Witch's Guide to Haunted Dolls and Puppet Magic. She's been appearing regularly on Ghost Adventures with Zack Bales for the last 10 years. Now, Patty is a psychic medium and good witch. It's her quotation marks, not mine. Is best known for her recurring role on the Travel Channel and Disney Plus's #1 show, Ghost Adventures, and the #1 paranormal show on YouTube, TFIL Overnight, with Elton Castile. She's an international best-selling author of Old World Magic for the Modern World, tips, tricks, techniques to balance, empower, and create a life you love. She has a new book coming out in June from Llewellyn called Dollcraft, about haunted dolls and magical puppets. Patty's body of work includes appearances on dozens of shows, from Portals to Hell, MasterChef, Wipeout, America's Got Talent, to influencers, YouTubers, and crossover talents like blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're just name dropping now. Good Mythical Morning and Awesomeness TV. She has graced numerous magazine covers, contributed to over 20 books, and conducted seances on radio, film, and TV, working with such legends as Emma Stone, John Voight, Meghan Trainor, and Gregory Hines. Patty is a popular award-winning weekly podcast called The Witching Hour, and has a second weekly podcast, The Witches Movie Coven. Patty is a founding partner and vice president of Paraflix streaming service, and a founding partner and headmistress at universitymagicus.com or magicku.org. Apparently, got the more fortunate web address. And online spirituality, I need to drink water, and mysticism school. Now, Patty will have the anchor slot, we'll call it. She will be doing her haunted dolls at 7 p.m. on Friday. 7 p.m. on Friday, and that'll be that won't even be in one of the seminar rooms. That's going to be in our new panel room. So we're moving her to the panel room, so she'll have a little more room to do her thing. And of course, we've already got tickets on sale for her gallery reading, so you got that going. Okay, one more for this segment. One of my dear friends, Pat Boussard O'Keefe. Unlock your psychic abilities. Learn how to open your psychic centers to discover, connect with, and improve your PSI. I think it's psi. I think it's actually is a word. Your psi abilities. This workshop ends with an exciting exercise designed to flex your psychic muscles. The exercise focuses on using your psi abilities to stop a serial killer's reign of terror. That implies there's a serial killer loose right now. And okay. So now I'm nervous. Y'all are worried about that doll. We have a serial killer that we're going to trust the Scarefest audience to. Okay. Pat Boussard O'Keefe, MSCHRMT, is a descendant of the mystics of the mountains, Appalachian granny women. Because she grew up in a haunted house, she has a keen interest in the paranormal and all things ghostly. Pat is an author and a photographer, damn good photographer, consulting hypnotist, psychic and trance medium, podcast host, and Reiki master teacher. As an author, she has written and photographed for dozens of national and international magazines, including Ghost Voices magazine, The Literary Hatchet, The Morbid Curious, The Haunted Times magazine. Her two recent books include Appalachian Granny Witch Magic, an Amazon new book bestseller, and Lunar Manifestation, Moon Magic, Mirror Magic, and The Witch's Ladder, which was a #1 release on the topic of mysticism and spirituality. She is currently working on a documentary about Appalachian granny women. There's Magic in the Mountains, which premieres fall of 2026. So, that we're going to go ahead. We're going to take our first break. That is Friday night for you people. We got and of course, Pat will be on the second floor at 8 p.m. That'll take you up to the end of the con. And we're going to take a short break and be right back with more of our speakers.
Are you a fan of horror movies, books, comics, music, and collectibles? Room Org magazine is for you. Subscribe today to receive 6 or 12 print issues annually and join me, executive editor Andrea Subisati, on an ongoing journey through the horror genre of the past, present, and future. Plus, get access to unmissable special editions such as A Century of Witches, 50 Years of Gore Cinema, British horror movies, and so much more. Room Org, the world's premier horror and culture and entertainment magazine since 1997. Accept no substitute.
Welcome back to Scarefest Television. Tonight, we're giving you the rundown on the speaker lineup, the seminar series. What are you pointing at?
Instagram.
Oh, it doesn't have me on it anymore. Go to my, I tell you what, we'll take this out and post. Go to me, transition. Now go to speaker graphic. It will leave me up. That's where I didn't fix that.
Gotcha.
I apologize to our Instagram followers tonight. I did not set up a special feed to show you the neat graphics that we're putting on the main channel on Facebook and YouTube. I apologize. You just get to look at me. Anyway, back to what we were saying. Saturday at noon in room 3, Misty Connor and Ashley Connor, the Connor sisters, Appalachian magic, folklore, superstitions, and how to keep the devil away. think we got a theme. The Appalachian Mountains are older than bones, so a person would expect nothing less than the eerie whispers of superstitions and lore. I'm sorry, I don't want to mess this up. So a person who would expect nothing less than the eerie whispers of superstitions and lore to flow through the hollers and hills down to the divides. The Connor sisters have been nestled in these majestic mountains their entire lives, conjuring and curing as good witches would. They are sharing their knowledge on folklore, haints, and hexes that has not helped their families. I'm sorry, read that wrong. It's be a long show, everybody. They are sharing their knowledge on folklore, haints, and hexes that has helped their families survive lifetimes. From outsmarting the devil to not whistling at night, let these sisters guide you through these forbidden mountains. Their book, Appalachian Conjuring, touches on some of the information the sisters will be covering, and special bonus, the first 100 attendees, the first 100 people in the room receive a free protection kit. A free protection kit. Yeah. Yes, Katie Followell is in the chat room offering to log on and help me read. I make her a librarian. She thinks she knows everything. The Connor sisters, two witchy sisters that are a dynamic duo in the world of psychic mediums. The charismatic is an understatement. Charismatic duo have traveled the U.S. giving readings, leading seances, gallery readings, hosting events, and lecturing on numerous magical topics. The sisters were recently featured in a documentary, The Season of the Witch, which is featured worldwide on Amazon Prime and Tubi, to name a few of the streaming networks. The Connor sisters are a southern delight that brings light to their Appalachian roots, whether it be in the form of receiving spiritual advice, their cunning items. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the things they have. This is like a list. Okay, we'll take two. Whether it be in the form of receiving spiritual advice, their cunning items, a reading, their books, or a spiritual cleansing, you can anticipate all the magic of their lineage flowing from these two. The sisters also have co-wrote a book on the Appalachian Mountains, Appalachian Conjuring, 100 Spells, Conjurings, Healings, and Folk Practices. Make sure I didn't skip a line here. Yeah, that's it. From modern-day Appalachian witches and granny women magic descendants. They've been featured on their local news and on Coast to Coast AM radio, Coast to Coast radio. Local news and Coast to Coast. That those two things should not be in the sentence. See, Barb, tell you, it's hard. It's very, very difficult what I'm doing. That everybody was really gave us good bios this year too.
Very wordy.
Wordy. They figured out how to game the system. Next one up, and I've been trying to get this lady on the show and never have been able to do it. Katie Jo Gleason, Fear as a Destination, the Dark Tourism Trend. The Dark Tourism Trend. Fear as a Destination, the Dark Tourism Trend will take you deep into the eerie, abandoned, and haunted corners of this region. We'll cover places you've likely never heard of, but won't forget. We'll explore lesser-known dark destinations that can be explored in a day or a weekend trip away from the bluegrass. Everything from ghostly mining towns and Appalachian forest history to eerie hotspots in Michigan, Missouri, Tennessee, Alabama, and Colorado. Yeah, Colorado's a day trip, yeah. Okay, I gotta call you on that one. We'll discuss why we're drawn to these places, what makes them so unnerving yet attractive, and the fine line between fascination and exploitation. If you've ever felt the pull towards the darkness of a loaded historical site, I'm trying to get the context there. If you've ever felt the pull towards the darkness of a loaded historical site and wondered why we seek out fear for entertainment, this is one conversation you won't want to miss. Now, Katie, if you want her street cred, she's an MBA, a paranormal researcher, and she's been participating with academic research for over a decade. Parapsychology course in undergrad evolved into a master's degree with a special project in dark tourism and paranormal edutainment. Made up words. Katie Jo has been featured in the Feminine Macabre on the TV series Family Spirits and has done research featured in the Journal of Parapsychology and other academic publications. She studied paranormal trends, local haunts, while traveling to 5 countries across 3 continents. Most recently, Katie Jo has started a haunted history and culture nonprofit, Boo 812, where she and her colleagues host paranormal investigation courses, remote viewing techniques, and resources. They do investigations for commercial businesses and private residences, and host haunted tours in southern Indiana and on a university campus. Katie Jo is also a member of the Independent Order of Oddfellows. That's Katie Jo. Katie will be at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. So we're flying now. Next up, returning to speak this year, Christina Kiefer. This year she's presenting Lingering Spirits, the Haunted Heart of History. History surrounds us, and so do ghosts. In this presentation, we'll explore the past of iconic locations, uncover what makes them haunted, and ask, why do spirits linger? Join us as we journey into the mysterious unknown. And I got a surprise in this even for you.
Okay.
Excuse me. Dr. Christina Kiefer is an ecologist by day and paranormal researcher by night. Along with her 3 degrees, she holds a PhD in biology from Tennessee State University. She researches the effects of climate change on organisms and their ecosystems. She specializes in agricultural systems, biodiversity, and forest systems. She is currently a postdoctoral researcher at the University of Kentucky.
Oh, wow.
I had no idea. Her paranormal research includes ghosts, aliens, UFOs, and cryptids. Dr. Kiefer is also an avid martial artist in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I don't know that word, and then Muay Thai. So she can also kick my ass. I'll keep that in mind. Additionally, she is a host on the K&A Show podcast. That's on, if you want to look that up, that's altradiox.com, altradiox.com, along with Will Amory. On the show, they cover topics of the paranormal, science, and anything that sparks their interest. In addition to their scientific publications, she is also an author with Will on Shadows of the Past, True Encounters with the Unexplained. You can find her on many episodes of True Ghost Stories on Facet TV, and she's also the host of Booze and Brews. Booze and Brews, that's easy to say. Found on YouTube, youtube.com/ Now I'm not going to read. You'll have to look that one up. That's too much to read. Where she covers the history of haunted historic locations. I had no idea. UK. So welcome, back, Christina. Damn, that she don't want to go anywhere. Okay. And I dropped my earbud. Oh well. Nobody to hear anyway. And that Christina was at 2 o'clock. Now we're giving you the 3 o'clock. One of my favorite people in the entire world. Stephanie Bingham. She will, and we kind of gave a preview of this when she came on the show. I gotta have a drink of water, everybody. The Varmint and High Strangeness in Kentucky. Strange creatures haunt the hills of Kentucky. Here, we will explore the case of the Kentucky Varmint and how it intertwines with other cases of cryptids and strange occurrences in the Bluegrass State. Stephanie Bingham was born and raised in western Kentucky and has the ability to see spirits since she was a small child. She received her undergraduate degrees in history and anthropology, as well as her master's degree in history, and specializes in the paranormal history of the United States. She uses her degrees to both research the paranormal and help others with talents like her own learn how to use them. She's a co-host on CW's Mysteries Decoded. Okay, she's a co-host on the CW's Mysteries Decoded and has had her experiences featured on Paranormal Revenge, Destination America's Paranormal Lockdown, and Sci-Fi Channel's School Spirits. Stephanie has also been published in several books. I didn't know she had that much time on TV. Okay. This will be a good time. Okay, now we're going to do our announcement. Where's my earbud? I'm not comfortable without it. Okay. So, okay, Stephanie, we're done. All right, let's go to announcements. This is what y'all been waiting for, everybody. Our first announcement. What?
I'm doing a drum roll.
I thought you were trying to get my attention. God.
I suck at it, okay?
Okay, everybody, here we are. We're starting off the announcements tonight with Bree Turner. Bree Turner from Grimm and Fish Tank Girl on Deuce Bigelow, which is still going to be her best part ever. And I saw her down in Tennessee. She is so much more beautiful in person than she was on TV. I don't know how that happens. She is absolutely drop dead gorgeous. Not that that is a prerequisite for being a talented young lady, but Grimm, she played Rosalie Calvert on Grimm. Now we're going to go with Ronnie Blakely. Ronnie Blakely. And of course, that is A Nightmare on Elm Street. That's Mom, Marge Thompson. Marge Thompson, Ronnie Blakely. So we've got her coming. Okay. Little side trip here over special FX artist Joe Castro. Joe Castro. Now, Joe will be at the Doomsday Crypts booth. Joe will be at the Doomsday Crypts booth. 94 movie credits where he does special effects. He also does some makeup effects, but all over the place with him. So stop by the Doomsday Crypt booth. I'm going to try to get him on the show. Doomsday Crypt likes to throw me a bone every now and then. And a long time coming. No, I'm sorry. That's not the one I was looking at. John Abrahams. Scary movie. House of Wax. Meet the Parents All at Once. But yeah, Terrifier 3. John Abrahams is coming. And he was in Terrifier 3. And finally, this was the one that was a long time coming. For me. Uh-oh. Oh, that's why. The virtual camera's not been working. It just went off. Click that on. That little box right there. Aaron Sagers. Everybody, Aaron Sagers is coming. Now, I just want to point out that Aaron Sagers has the most out-of-date IMDb page that I have ever seen in my entire life. It has like his High School Musical listed. 28 Days Haunted, Paranormal, Paparazzi, that's when he came on my radar. And nowadays, Paranormal Caught on Camera. He's like the last standing on Paranormal TV. Yeah, Paranormal TV, that's like the last show standing. Paranormal Caught on Camera. So we got Aaron Sagers coming. Now, on our investigations for the Warrens Museum after normal hours, after con hours, Friday night, Dave Schrader is taking the reins, and he'll be we're going to call him a chaperone, because I think the Warren Museum kind of has this all kind of planned out anyway. They're going to be doing Estes method investigations. Of course, Dave will be there to oversee, help you, give you encouragement, but a little locked in the room time with Dave Schrader at the Warren Museum after dark. And we're doing the same thing on Saturday night with Aaron Sagers. Aaron Sagers, we've been holding off on this. Still going to hammer out some details with him, but Aaron Sagers is planned to host the Saturday night version of the Warrens Museum After Dark investigation. Okay, don't forget, Talk Scary to Me Live tickets are on sale now. Talk Scary to Me Live tickets are on sale, and they are arranging a hell of a star-studded cast just to do their little podcast thing. Thought I'd let you know. If you're into tattoos, we're doing our tattoo contest a little bigger this year. The Scarefest Inc. Tattoo Festival is going on during contests. We've got an entire ballroom on the first floor. We're going to have 20 artists, daily contest, badass trophies, 15 contest categories, extended hours. Go to scarefestweekend.com and you can follow the link to the Scarefest Inc. Tattoo Contest and get more details on that. After the show tonight, hey, stick around, go over to YouTube. We've got Villainous Kids in Horror. This was a joint project, I'm just practically what you emailed me, between Fear the Talking Heads, Barbara, and Bonehead Weekly. So they kind of went together on this. Villainous Kids in Horror. Go to YouTube, and it's at Fear the Talking Heads. At Fear the Talking Heads, because if you go on there and you search for Fear the Talking Heads, the episode of Scarefest TV that we talked about it will be what pops up. Does you no good. At Fear the Talking Heads. At Fear the Talking Heads. And one more thing. This weekend, the Central Kentucky Mystical Market is going on. Third weekend pop-up at Taste Creek. They're doing it both days, Friday and Saturday. Saturday 11 to 5, Sunday 11 to 5. But that is going on at 1165 Center Parkway, Lexington, Kentucky. Want more information? There's a little bit at scarefestweekend.com. Best thing to do is go on Facebook, though. Look them up on Facebook, Central KY Mystical Market. And one last reminder, Kids Day. Kids 12 and under get in free all weekend, but Sunday is a special day at Scarefest Weekend. Indoor trick-or-treat, costume contest, arts and craft, Kids Day, Sunday, Scarefest. All right, let me get back to my schedule here. Now, we're on Sunday. No, we're on Saturday afternoon. We're still on Saturday. Anthony Taylor. Anthony Taylor will be speaking 4 o'clock. We're at 4 o'clock. Anthony Taylor. He'll be talking about his book, Classic Monsters, Modern Art, the 20th Century Horror in 21st Century Illustration. Excuse me. His book examines the new wave of monster artists, from book, magazine, and DVD covers to posters, prints, and original art. The current crop of artists is turning out some of the finest monster and horror art of all time. The panel will consist of multiple examples in a visual presentation, a history of monster art before the turn of the century, and how we perceive the art and what it means to us as viewers and human beings. Anthony Taylor is the author of Classic Monsters, Modern Art, 20th Century Horror, and 21st Century Illustrations, which examines the new wave of monster artists as well as the art of George Wilson, telling his astounding story of the comic book cover artist for Gold Key and Dell Comics. His books Aurora Plastic Models Catalogs, Volume 1 and 2, chronicle the iconic company's history and reprint their sales catalogs from 1960 to 1977. This just dropped a lot of movie titles, so I am not going to go read all this. But the guy is obviously qualified. But Anthony Taylor, Anthony Taylor, 222 at 4 o'clock, he will be presenting Classic Monsters, modern art. Haven't seen Lisa for a couple of years. Lisa Shackelford. Her speech will be at 5 o'clock on Saturday. Doppelganger, Skinwalker, or simply Fear the Mimic. And on her presentation, she even put the little dots above the A. I don't even know how to do that. What is this new TikTok fascination of mimic? And are they onto something? Are these entities God. Take two. Are these entities doppelgangers, skinwalkers, or simply a ghost copycat? Based on my experiences of having my name being called and other possibly mimic activity, I am delving into whether this is simply a misunderstanding of an entity or, in fact, an intelligent spirit that's been around quite a while that has recently wanted its own recognition. All of the above, maybe. Now, I'm definitely not reading her entire bio. Okay, but give you a little bit about it. Just to give you her street cred, Lisa Shackelford is the founder and lead investigator of the Georgia Paranormal Files, the author of Memoirs and Musings of a Haunted Flight Attendant, former co-host for the Archer Paranormal Show on liveparanormal.com and WRockRadio.com. She's appeared on several episodes of True Ghost Stories, airing on Facet TV and RedCoralUniverse.com. But yeah, the haunted flight attendant. If you go back through the archives, I've done the show with her. You go to scarefestradio.com, you might be able to find it. I don't remember. It's been several. We were in the old center, so it's been a few years. But yeah, she's a ghost hunter. She's been doing this quite a while. It seems pretty knowledgeable, and skinwalkers fear the mimic. But so that's a title. That is a title we've not talked about. So we want to give her a little showing there. And our feature speaker for Saturday, Bishop James Long. Bishop James Long, he will be, keep losing my place, 6 p.m. on Saturday. And this will be in the new panel room. Demonology and Possession, Truth versus Fiction. Bishop Long from Ghost Adventures and Eli Roth presents Legions of Exorcist shows. Okay, I'm going to read that correctly. Bishop Long from Ghost Adventures and Eli Roth presents Legions of Exorcist shows will give a presentation on demonology and possession. Bishop Long has been in the paranormal field for 35 years and has presented his lecture in for over 2 decades. He has performed 33 documented exorcisms on people who are validly possessed, and he presents his lecture to educate the general public about what really happens during demonic cases and possession. Doctorate of Ministry, Master of Divinity, Master of Education, Master of Business, Bachelor of Communications, Journalism Associate, and Philosophy. 33 documented exorcisms on people. That's the ones that were possessed, not the ones that needed a little medical help. He works with psychiatrists to administer psychological evaluations prior to performing his exorcisms. So yeah, Bishop James Long is returning to Scarefest this year. Demonology and Possession, Truth versus Fiction, one of our featured presentations. And to close out the evening on Saturday, Terry Shaw, finding and telling compelling true ghost stories. This fun interactive workshop will have visuals, handouts, and brief readings. It will include audience pitches and writing and revision exercises. Terry will cover the elements of a story and talk about voice, structure, and tone. Not everyone knows the difference between an anecdote and a story, so we'll have an exercise exploring this. I'll also go over various approaches, writing in first person, reporting on other people's stories and telling tales from history. Now, Terry Shaw's from Howling Hills Publishing. He's been helping people tell their stories for more than 30 years. So if you want to become an author and you want to write ghost stories, this is a seminar you need to catch. He's worked as a newspaper reporter and columnist, a copywriter and publicist, a freelance book editor, and the content manager for a Fortune 500 company. His experience editing a daily newspaper on the coast of Maine inspired his novel, The Way Life Should Be, which was published by Simon & Schuster and received favorable reviews and coverage from Publishers Weekly, USA Today, NPR, and other outlets. He's been a journalist in Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and New York, Penn State graduate, serves on the board of Tennessee Mountain Writers, and is a past president of the Knoxville Writers Guild. He lives with 2 standard poodles. I love that's how he closed out his bio. He lives with 2 standard poodles in the Holston River Valley and enjoys hiking, gardening, and cycling. Okay, now it is time for Bonehead Weekly.
Hey, Scarefest fans, this is Joe Lewis, Bonehead Weekly, and this week's review is a little different because technically it's not a horror film, but it is based on a novella written by Stephen King. This week's review is Life of Chuck. It's out of If It Bleeds. Life of Chuck was one of my favorite short stories, and I'm going to open up a little bit on this one. Our favorite novellas out of that collection because I read it or I listened to it while my father was in the hospital. Life of Chuck takes place in 3 different parts, and so does the movie. Basically, kind of from the ending to back to the beginning. Not like Memento, but you just learn things. It's a little easier to pick up on the movie of where the movie's going than the story and where the movie is going than it is in the book. Not that the book's complicated, it's just a little harder because visually in the movie, oh yeah, I get it. I see where they're going a little more. Mike Flanagan is a fantastic filmmaker, an awesome, awesome writer-director. He has given us Midnight Mass, which is one of the best series I've ever seen, which is also on Netflix. Follow the House of Usher, The Haunting, which is a fantastic. And a lot of those, if you like those actors in a lot of those, they show up in Life of Chuck. I think Flanagan felt the same way I did about Life of Chuck when he read it, because it touched me, because what we don't give Stephen King credit for enough, and we've talked about it on Bonehead Weekly several times, is that the reason it works is because he builds 3-dimensional characters, whether that be Mr. Mercedes, whether that be it. You believe those people existed or exist. I believe those are great characters. It was an emotional toil to watch it because I loved it so much and it meant so much to me at that time. And watching it again, because Flanagan, if you like the novella, you're going to like this. Is there a little bit of a ghosty kind of thing at the end? Kind of, sort of, but not really. There's just one fantastic character after another delivering all this great dialogue. He changes a couple things, but not much. The dance sequence, if you love the novella, it's there. It's all good. And you're like, well, the dance, it makes sense. And it all connects because Stephen King built a tapestry with his stories that all intermingle. Maybe you don't always love the endings. I don't always love the endings. It's a fair criticism. I've never read a Stephen King story where I didn't believe the characters. So should you go see Life of Chuck? Please, God, go see it. It's an adult movie, and what I mean by that, I don't mean like rated X. It's a movie made for people like me. I don't get it anymore. And Flanagan's one of the few people who will give me stories that aren't about teens in a cornfield or something like that. It's with adults and adult themes and things that people deal with in life and the end of life and how life is awful and beautiful. I'm a little preachy. I like Life of Chuck a lot. The only criticism I can hurl at the movie is I wish it was a little more cinematic, a little more bigger, broader, scoper as far as the film is actually how it was filmed. Do I expect it to look like a Sergio Leone film? No. Just wish it was a little bit. It's the only criticism I can hurl at it. He did it. Thank you, Mr. Flanagan. And you changing the song to Give Me Some Lovin' from Desperation. I know other people are going to be like, that's not different. It's in Desperation. Stephen King uses a lot of music. And there's a cameo from a certain car in this movie, too. Life of Chuck. Not really a horror film at all, but a beautiful film. A film about how life and death are part of the tapestry, the universe. And there's all just a little bit of a universe right between your ears. This has been Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly. Please go out and see Life of Chuck so I can see more of this shit in the theaters instead of having to watch the Final Destination 32 movie. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I just want original content.
And welcome back, everybody, to Scarefest Television. Our final set of speakers, Sunday. Kicking off Sunday, Colton Scrivener. Horror villains are cats. From Michael Myers to Freddy Krueger, why do horror's most terrifying villains stalk silently through the night, armed with blades, claws, and fangs, instead of more practical weapons? This talk explores the deep connection between iconic movie monsters and the predatory big cats that hunted human ancestors for millions of years. All our cats do is keep me up all night. Discover how Hollywood's scariest creations tap into primal fears and why the most effective horror villains are, at their core, just big cats in disguise. Now, Colton is a PhD, a behavioral scientist, and horror entertainment producer. He is the world's leading expert on the science behind morbid curiosity and the appeal of frightening entertainment. He's the author of Morbidly Curious, a scientist explains why we can't look away. And he's also the executive director of the Nightmare in the Ozarks Film Festival and the Eureka Springs Zombie Crawl, one of the largest gatherings of zombies in the world. Next up on Sunday, Catherine Stringfield is returning. From Scottish witch trials to Appalachian granny witches, an evolution of witches and their craft. We got a theme going with witches this year. She will be discussing the infamous Scottish witch hunts and what really went on in the trials and how confessions were extracted using various means of torture. She will address how and why they were accused and which acts fell under the Witchcraft Act of 1563, which meant certain death. She will walk through an execution and paint a picture of what it was like for a convicted witch. She will relate how and why so many people fled Scotland during this time. That might be where my ancestors came from.
Good possibility.
I might have been ran out on a rail because my family was witches. You never know. Okay. And they fled Scotland during this time and resettled in the North Carolina mountains and then onto the mountains of eastern Kentucky and Tennessee, and then they got tired of walking like the rest of us. How that healing ways were passed down through generations to women who had become lovingly called granny witches when thought to be healers, but became feared when their ways from long ago showed a more nefarious side. Catherine will touch on mountain superstitions and end with her personal ghost story that inspired her novel, The Mary Lucktail's Witch's Curse. She's the author of Mary Lucktail's Witch's Curse. She's been on Scarefest TV. Very interesting woman. The Mary Lucktails to Hell and Back are due out in June of 2025. Proud Appalachian from the hollers of eastern Kentucky, raised in Shotgun Holler, and came from a long line of storytellers. She loves a good ghost story and uses this to help her become an author. And she's been a guest. I got to plug Scarefest TV, as well as a guest on the Fox 56 morning show, the Kentucky Taste Buds.
I'm excited to see her.
Yeah, next time I'm going to have a co-host help read this. Eric Brooks. He's been a regular speaker for years. Stranger Things, a missing college student, the Upside Down, and the CIA's most diabolical secret project. In April 1953, a student disappeared without a trace from his dorm at Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. What does this have to do with the TV series Stranger Things? The answer is MK Ultra, a top secret CIA program to develop interrogation and mind control techniques through hypnosis and drugs. This program will look at real life horror. This program will look at the real life horror of MK Ultra and the disappearance of Ron Taman and the fictional version in Stranger Things. Eric is the chief curator at Ashland, the Henry Clay Estate in Lexington, frequent speaker all over Kentucky, and the author of a book on Ashland articles as well. Regular guest on the B Movie Cast, the podcast B Movie Cast. Spoken at Scarefest many times and has attended all. He's only missed one of them, he says. Welcome back, Eric Brooks. Eric will be speaking 2 o'clock on Sunday. Will Eimerick, and I believe I'm not saying that perfectly, but he likes to do it with like some big accent. The Estes method. The Estes method, how it's done. The objective of the Estes method is to promote spirit communication through a spirit box. We do this by using two people, one person who acts as a receiver, by isolating them from other people in the room, relying only on output from the spirit box. We will show the audience how it's done, give a brief history of the box, give a brief history of the method and equipment, and let them try with our assistance. Now, Will owns the X-Alt Radio, radio network, professional photographer, fine artist, paranormal investigator for 20 years plus. He's a cat dad. Cats are the theme tonight. Horror movie enthusiast, one host of the K&A show with Christina Kiefer, and he loves tacos. He actually put that in his bio. And closing out Sunday, Charles Romans, Science versus Spiritualism, Explaining the Paranormal. How different people use science and or spiritualism, everybody uses that word tonight and they know I can't say it very well, to research and explain the paranormal. I will be using examples from the guest on his podcast. He will be using examples from the guest on his podcast. Award-winning journalist, paranormal researcher, host of Shadows of Legend, a podcast featuring guests that have had encounters with cryptids and the paranormal. Growing up in rural eastern Kentucky, he was raised hearing the stories of ghosts and the unexplainable, and he followed those stories. That's our lineup for speakers. Now, I don't have a graphic for him. I want to give honorable mention here. Rob Whalen. Rob Whalen will be also speaking. He'll be in the classroom, which is going to be where it was last year. No change there. The classes are wrapped around teaching cosplayers, indie filmmakers, and interested parties how they can create and apply near movie-level prosthetics using obtainable and affordable supplies and in a home environment. He started teaching these types of classes almost 10 years ago at conventions around the Southeast. He teaches a combination of makeup and fabrication across different genres. His goal has been to reach students who have an interest in these things but don't have the means or knowledge to move forward to the next level. So Rob Whalen, don't have his graphic, but he is coming to do his classes again. Should have 3 of them over the course of the weekend. Beginner, intermediate, and then he does one for Kids Day. So that is our speaker lineup. I hope I didn't bore you all too bad with just reading stuff to you. But we want to get that out. The schedule will be on the website within the next week, so you can go back and look at it there. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, and we will see you next week.